At the end of day 27, I wrote, "Thank you, God, for this day. I can buy drinking water now. Please protect my daughter. Please let her know I love her and I did not abandon her. Please help me stay focused and grounded through this process. Please forgive me. I know I am aware of my sins. Please open my heart to continue seeing the truth. Open my heart and mind to continue to heal. I pray for the best possible outcome, that I stay safe and healthy. I stay out of prison. The corruption in my case is exposed. My daughter and I are reunited. The abuser and his family stay away from me. I would be humbled if my financial losses were recovered from this past 3 years of neglect and abuse. I will not be forced to live someplace that I am not safe, that I can still have my family, a healthy, happy, peaceful family life. Day 28 in a third world prison. So at this point, I have a new cellmate. My previous cellmate is serving a 9-month sentence. By the time I arrived and I moved into her cell the first week I was in this Central Belize prison, she had been there approximately like 4 going on 5 months. And when we talked, I was under the impression that she was basically leaving after 6 months. And so a few weeks ago or a few days ago, I talked about her leaving for court. Well, she told me that she was planning on getting bailed out that day. So, we had our sentimental goodbyes. Lo and behold, while she was gone, I learned from other prisoners, they warned me, like, she's not gone, she's coming back. She has a full 9-month sentence. She's just not being realistic, and she's hoping for something that's not really going to happen. I didn't really want to get into her case because we're not allowed to talk about each other's cases. They suggest that we don't do that to minimize any drama and to keep the environment clear of gossiping and fighting. But while she was gone, though, they moved another prisoner into my cell. And this woman had spent, I think, like 2 weeks in the hole before she was brought into the prison and became my new cellmate. We were okay. I think it was a little jarring because the first person that was in my cell, we grew really close and we would talk a lot. We shared each other's stories. We are both mothers, and we both unfortunately experienced domestic violence. And so we consoled each other and supported each other. This new person was at Belize prison for a very serious crime. And so I don't know, I think it took a little bit for me to warm up to her, just because I didn't know who she was. She came out of the hole, and so I was like, well, what did you do to get in the hole? Are you safe? So I took my time to get to know her. And we really didn't talk. We were actually very respectful of each other and really quiet with each other. But I will say everyone, even this new cellmate, felt bad for me because I have a morbid fear of roaches. And so cockroaches that are literally little dinosaurs, and extremely aggressive, I'm screaming all the time. So I think people felt bad for me. They would laugh and tease me, but they also felt bad for me. So they would help me. And so this is the issue. When I first got there, I was quite ignorant. When I started noticing the cockroaches when I first got there, I'm like, oh, hey, I think you guys have an infestation problem. You need to, are there going to be people that are going to come to spray? Are there going to be people that are going to come and try to get rid of this infestation? And then on top of that, when I started seeing them, I was like, hey, is there any Raid or something I can use? No. So both of those assumptions that I had were horribly wrong. And the attitude was either you just live with them or you have to use your shoe. You have to take your shoe off if you want it to die. You need to hit it with your shoe. Which means that, to me, it was horrifying because it meant I have to actually make contact with the cockroach, and there's a chance I'll miss it and it'll run on me. Like, that's what I was thinking. Or it'll bite me, or, oh my gosh, I don't know. I'm just like, so on May 4th, 2025, it was, I would call it D-Day, because my new cellmate, she had access to money. So her boyfriend on the outside would come and drop money off and was paying for her lawyer. And so she had money to spend in the shops. And so she, literally 2 days prior, so that's Friday, she bought all this food, boxes of cereal, condensed milk, Doritos, a package of hot dogs. And when I saw that, I was like, are you going to eat all those hot dogs on one day? Because doesn't that have to be refrigerated? No. She was not planning on refrigerating it. She was planning on keeping it on her table and slowly eating the hot dogs over a period of a few days. And so what does that mean? Well, because my cellmate had all this food on her table that essentially are perishables, foods that should be in a refrigerator, even this little plastic bag of condensed milk. I woke up at 2 a.m. on May 4th, 2025, to the sound of plastic in the corner of my ear. And I woke up, and to my horror, it was a cockroach on her food, trying to get at it. So at this point, it took me a while, but with encouragement and coaching from my other prison mates, I had gotten to that point where I could just grab one of my sandals and swat at them. Some days were better than most. Some days I would just start screaming and hitting and not hit a single cockroach. And some days I was really focused. I wouldn't scream. So that night I did do that. I heard the crinkling and I was like, ah! I got up, grabbed my shoe, and I hit it. But then to my horror, I started noticing in the corner of my eyes all this scurrying. So I turned on the light and the cell was full of cockroaches because of her food, her condensed milk, her cereal. They were having a feast. I yelled out, which prompted my roommate to jump up and grab one of her sandals. And we just basically tag teamed it. I stood by the cell door and she was over by the table, and she would pick up her food, and as soon as some would run, she just knock them, pop, pop, and then push them by me. She had a bad habit of just hitting the cockroach once. I learned the hard way, it just stunned them. They would just sit there for an hour and then run off. So as soon as she would hit one by me, I'd take my sandal and I'd pound on it until the guts came out. And then I would kick it out in the hallway. So we did that. It was like World War III in there. Oh my